Hi everyone, Meg here with ITH Stamping, and today we are going to be making a really simple Christmas card. I love this one. I can't wait to share it with you. So the reason it is so simple is because of the tools that we're using. So I'm using the Joyful Holly stamp set, and I'm also using the Banner Year. I'm using the Christmas Wishes from it. So both of these come from Stampin' Up. I'm going to be using the outline and the fill-in, and then, like I said, the sentiment from this one. So we're going to start by doing our sentiment because we're going to be heat embossing, and I want to get as many tools off my table as we're going as humanly possible. So I'm going to start with my stamp, and I've got some black cardstock and my Versamark ink pad. I have my white embossing powder ready to go, and I also have my heat tool standing by. So we're going to go ahead and open that up. I'm going to go ahead and put a mat underneath my cardstock just because it is a clear stamp. It's a photopolymer stamp, and so I want to get the best stamped image as humanly possible. I'm just going to tap, 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 tap in my Versamark, line it up into the middle, and stamp. And then while I'm stamping, I'm going to close up my Versamark ink pad. I hear from people all the time, they're like, oh, how do you get powder out of your Versamark ink pad? Well, the answer is you really don't. Once it's on there, it's kind of on there to stay. So before you work with your powder, always close up that ink pad. I'm going to tap off the excess powder as best I can. Give a quick that, and then I'm going to move my powder out of the way before I turn on my heat gun because I don't want a powder explosion. So this is colored cardstock. I'm going to use it on heat setting of 2, so the higher heat setting. If this was white cardstock or vanilla with Stampin' Up's cardstock, then I would keep it at 1. It just keeps your cardstock from curling as much. So we're just going to go until our powder is no longer powder, till it melts into our cardstock. No matter how many times I do heat embossing, this is always magic. It really is. Many years ago, I did all my wedding thank yous with heat embossing. And I think I did well, let's just say a lot of them. And it never got old. Even after doing that many, I still love this technique. Okay, we'll give that a quick look. I'm just looking at it from different angles to make sure we don't have any powder left. We don't, so we're good to go with that. And we are ready to do our stamping. All right, so I'm going to be using the outline stamp from this stamp set. There are 2 different ones. There's this one and this one. You can go with whichever one you want, and you can mix and match them. Just for the sake of time, I'm just going to do this one right here. I'm going to use the Memento ink pad. And I don't know why that's still sitting there. With these bigger stamps, I prefer to pounce my ink on top rather than flip it over. I just find that the pressure I apply works out better when I do it this way. All right, so we're going to take this and stamp. And I'm not worried so much as, pardon me, as filling the whole image or the whole background here. But I just want to get some good coverage. So I'm just going to twist and stamp. Oh, I can see I missed a spot. Right there. That would not have been good. These are such pretty holly leaves. Okay. I'm going to bring in my nasty looking chamois and get this cleaned. I just don't like to let ink sit on my stamps for too long. Alright, so we've got this. Alright, so now we're going to use the background part or the filler part of our holly leaves. So we're just going to ink this up. I'm going to use Old Olive for this part. There we go. I'll take it and just line it up. So we've had some poinsettia stamp sets in the past that are pretty complicated or tedious, I guess should be the more appropriate word to line up. This one, however, is not. Like, I love how this one goes on. And I missed a spot. I'm going to show you how I'm going to fix that. Not a problem. Drives me nuts when I do it, but I'm going to show you how to fix it. We're going to do this one over here. So normally I would lean way far over and lean over this image. But if I do that, y'all just see the top of my head. Y'all really don't want to see that. I'm quite sure of that. Look how perfectly that lined up. Love it, love it, love it. So when I'm trying to line up the way I am, it does take longer than if I'm just making this card. So if you're like, yeah, but it's still taking you a long time, it's because I'm, like I said, I'm not leaning way over, so it is taking me longer than usual. There we go. Yay. That part's all done. Get this stamp clean real quick. We're going to close up our old olive and move on to our real red. I don't like to have more than one ink pad open at a time because it just doesn't seem to go so well for me. And now we're ready to do our little holly berries. So we're going to take this. So we're going to get all 4 of them in one stamp. Look at that. Ta-da! And then over here again, repeating that, getting all 4. I got something on my block, so I can't see where I'm stamping. Okay, so we still need to fix this area right here. So I'm just going to take an old olive marker and go over it. Ta-da. You can try to re-stamp the whole thing. I just think that turns into a bigger mess. All right, so we've got all of our stamping done. And now it's time to do our assembly. So I'm going to start with the Real Red card base. It's going to start at 5.5 by 8.5, and I've scored it at 4 1/4. I fold it over, use my bone folder to get that nice crisp edge on it. Love it. Then I can see I can feel where my paper trimmer left a little bit of a line, so I'm just going to smooth that out on both sides. There we go. Now I've got a scrap piece of glitter paper, like total scrap, headed for the trash. And instead what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it on my red cardstock, and I'm going to leave about 1/8 of an inch right here. So got that. Then we're going to take our piece that we stamped. Look how pretty that is. Like I love this. Like it looks like we made our own background paper just by using a stamp set. I'm going to take this and I'm going to line it up into the bottom corner on the left, and then hit it on the bottom edge and the left side of the card. Look how pretty, and that little bit of gold glitter just really looks adorable on here. And we're going to take a pair of scissors. We're going to trim down our sentiment. We're going to cut it in half and cut this part off. Now, if I want to trim closer to it, I can, or I can leave it that 1/2 inch width. I'm going to go ahead and trim a little bit closer. If only I had cut that into a straight line, that would have been even better. Do it over here. Ta-da. And then since we did on that one, we've got to do it on this one. It'll look funky if we don't. All right, so we have that. So I have some liquid glue sitting here. I'm just going to go ahead and use that. You can use whatever kind of adhesive you want. And then we just decide where we want our sentiment to go. So I want mine over on this side. I'm just going to do Christmas. And then wishes. Actually, I'm going to scoot wishes on down and have it offset like that. Ta-da! And just like that, we have this stunning Christmas card. So by using up a scrap of glitter paper, look how good that helps make this card pop, right? And then we used 2 stamp sets. We used this one here that did all the heavy lifting for us. Look at that. And look how well it lined up. Love this one. And then whatever sentiment you want. I went with the banner year just because I liked the font on it. I liked that it was all caps. And I knew that it would be a great one for heat embossing. So like this one here, it was just going to be too narrow for heat embossing. It just didn't set the right tone for what I wanted. So that's why I went with the thicker font. I knew it would heat emboss better. Then a plain red background, we offset this layer, and just like that, we have a winner of a Christmas card. So I hope you enjoyed today's project. If you like this video and you want to see more like it, by all means hit that like button and please subscribe to my channel. In the description below, you'll find an entire list of products that I used to create this fun project so that you can order them for yourselves. Again, I'm Meg from I Teach Stamping. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a great day.